Hello everyone, good day for all. Welcome back to yet another episode of Ayursamveda, a smart way to Ayurveda. I am Doctor Kavya Vasudev and you are watching Study AshtangahRhidaya series. Please subscribe to my channel and enable the bell button for continuous updates on Samhita. In the last videos, we were discussing Doshabhedeeyaadhyaya and we have seen the different types of diseases. If you have not watched those videos, please click the I button to access them. Moving with the same chapter, Doshabhedeeyaadhyaya. Next, further how to examine the roga and rogi is being told. Pariksha. Dushyam desham balam kalam analam prakritim vayaha Satvam Satmyam tadha Aharam avasthascha prithak vidaha Sukshma Sukshmaha samikshesham doshaushata nirupane yo vartate chigilsayam na saskhalati jatujit. Dushyam desham balam kalam analam prakritim vayaha Satvam Satmyam tadha Aharam avasthaha cha prithak vidaha Sukshma Sukshmaha samikshya esham dosha aushata nirupane yo vartate chigilsayam na sa skhalati jadujit. Dushyam desham balam kalam analam prakritim vayaha Satvam Satmyam tadha Aharam avasthaha cha prithak vidaha Sukshma Sukshmaha samikshya esham dosha aushata nirupane yo vartate Chigilsayam na sa skhalati jatujit. The physician should examine and determine the factors such as dushya, that is dhatu and mala involved in a disease is called as dushya. Desha, the area of the body where the disease has been manifested, and also the bhumi desha has also to be accessed. That is whether this patient is coming from either Jankala desha or Anupa desha or Satharana desha. So based on that, based on the desha, there are particular diseases which are pertaining to certain places only. So to understand that, we should assess the desha of the patient, that is bhumi desha and deha desha has to be examined. Next is bala, that is the strength of the patient should be noted. That is, if a patient is very weak, then the severity of the disease can be more, or though the sadhya vyatis can become difficult to manage if the patient is not strong. So we should know whether the patient is strong enough to tolerate all the stress of the diseases, and also whether he is capable to tolerate all the medicines or the treatment procedures which we are giving to him. Next is Kala, that is the Ritu or the season in which the patient is getting the diseases, and also how all that disease is, whether it is acute or chronic, and also similarly the age of the patient should be noted. That is, we know the Vada, Pitta and Kapha doshas are predominant in particular age groups. That is, in the childhood, Kapha dosha will be more predominant, in the middle aged group, Pitta dosha will be predominant, and in the old age, Vada dosha will be more predominant. And if such kinds of diseases are happening or coming to a patient of that particular age group, then it will be difficult to manage also. Similarly, the Ritu or the time period in which that particular disease is being has to be noted. For example, the doshas will be attaining Chaya, Prakopa and Prashamana in particular Ritu, and if that particular time that diseases is happening, then it will be difficult for the management. So such things also should be noted, at what time the disease is occurring. And also there are certain conditions in which the pain will be more severe in certain time period, and the pain will be getting relieved in certain time periods, especially in the conditions of shofa or inflammations, etc., or where there is pus discharge, such conditions, the pain will be increasing in particular condition and pain will be reducing in particular time. That is, pain can be increased in daytime or it can be more during the night time. So based on that, all we can understand which dosha predominance is present in that disease condition. For that purpose, we should understand the Kala. Next is anala. Anala refers to the digestive power of the patient. So whether this patient is having Mandakni or Tikshnakni or Samakni, all the diseases will be manifesting based on the Mandakni, which results in the Ajirna or Ama Utpatti. So generally all the diseases will be happening because of the Mandakni itself, but there are certain other disease conditions in which the Agni becomes Tikshna. For example, Bhasmaka is a type of disease in which the Agni will be more Tikshna, and whatever food or aharas we consume, it will be digested very short time, and the Dhatu Paga will be occurring. So we should analyze what is the anala or what is the Agni of that particular patient during the disease time, and also previously what was the condition, how that patient had the Agni or Jarana Shakti, how it was, how he had the digestion capacity before the occurrence of the disease and during the occurrence of disease should be noted. Next is Prakriti, that is the body constitution. Different types of Prakritis are there, that is the single or individual doshas, the combination of 2 doshas and the combination of 3 doshas. The 7 types of Prakriti has been mentioned. So based on the Prakriti also, if the dosha predominance is similar to that of Prakriti, then it will be difficult for the management of the diseases. And also similarly, there are certain diseases which will be pertaining to particular type of Prakriti. For example, the Pitta Prakriti persons will be having more and more attacks of the mouth ulcers, etc. Or they may be having the inflammations or pus discharge. Such diseases will be more in conditions of Pitta Prakriti. So we should know which Prakriti that person is, and whether that disease is of which dosha predominant, and whether it can be easily manageable or whether it is very difficult to manage. So that is the importance of understanding or analyzing the Prakriti. Next is Vaya, that is age of the patient. So at what age that patient belongs to. Based on that, we should understand the dosha predominance during that time, and based on that we can understand whether that disease will be easily manageable or difficult to management. So these all factors has to be analyzed by the physician to understand especially the dosha predominance. Next is Sattva, that is the mental capacity. We have already told the Bala, that is the physical strength of the patient has been mentioned. Similarly, the mental strength of the patient should also be assessed. Whether it may be a physical diseases or it can be a mental diseases, in both conditions we should know the mental capacity of the patient, because we will be giving various kinds of medicines or various kinds of procedures will be given. So whether that patient will be able to withstand all that, or whether the patient will be able to tolerate such all stresses, for understanding that we should know the Sattva, or we should know the mental capacity of the patient. Though the patient may be coming under the middle-aged group, but the Sattva may be very weak. Because of the Alpa Sattva also, various kinds of diseases can happen. Both psycho and somatic disorders can be happen because of this Alpa Sattva. So we should analyze the Sattva or the mental capacity of the patient. Next is Satmya. Satmya means the foods and items or the activities which are accustomed to the particular person. That is, if a person is following something and it becomes a habit to that particular person, we call it as Satmya. It can be either good or it can be bad also. So whatever a person is continuously following, or he is activities or the food, that is aharas and viharas, which a person is continuously practicing or following, then it becomes a habit to him, or it becomes accustomed to him. So such things we call it as Satmya. So there are certain conditions in which if a patient is or a person is Satmya to certain things, it won't be producing much bad effects. Or for example, the Viruddha Ahara. Normally, the Viruddha Ahara will be producing different kinds of diseases or discomforts in the person. But if the Viruddha Ahara is Satmya to a person, that Viruddha Ahara won't be producing much discomfort to the person. So similarly, all the bad things also, if it is Satmya, it may not be producing various difficulties in the person. So we should know what are the things which are Satmya to that person. And also for prescribing the Aharas or the medicines also, we should know which all items are Satmya to that particular patient. Next is Ahara, that is the food habits. Which kind of rasa that particular patient is consuming more. For example, there is the rasa dosha sambandha has been mentioned. So if a person is consuming more of a particular rasa, then that particular dosha may be having the affection. That is, if a person is constantly taking or consuming madhura rasa, there are chances for kapha vriddhi as well as vada kshaya. So based on that, we can understand which dosha is going to be dushti or which dosha is getting affected. That can be understood. And it is generally told to be practiced for the sarva rasa. That is, all the rasas should be consumed by us and in particular quantities. So if a particular person is concentrating or consuming more of a predominant rasa only, then it can have the bad effects on his body. So in the 10th chapter, it has been mentioned that what happens if we excessively use each rasas. So such kinds of diseases can also manifest if a person is concentrating on only one particular or one or two particular rasas. So all the 6 rasas should be consumed by a person. Next is avastha, the stages of the diseases. So there are different stages of the diseases. For example, Chaya, Prakopa and Prashamna are the 3 stages of the doshas, the same signs and symptoms which we can see in the disease conditions also. Similarly, the stages of diseases has been mentioned as per Sushruta Samhita is the Shatkriya Kala. So understanding the stage of the disease and particularly according to that, we should go for the management. So the management in Chaya Avastha, Prakopa Avastha, Prasara, Sthana Samshraya, Vyakta and Bheda will be different. So based on the stage of the disease or Avastha of the Roga, we have to give the management or we have to intervene the diseases. And also if we are going for the surgery treatment, then we should know the stage of the diseases or we should know the condition, because there are certain conditions in which only we should go for the surgical intervention. If that proper time is not there, then if we are performing the surgical intervention, then more of complications can be produced. For example, if we are going for swelling or if we are taking a shofar, we have to go for the surgical interventions. We should not go for that in the Amavastha or Pachimana Avastha. After it gets under the Pakwa Avastha, then only we should go for the surgery treatments. Similarly, all the conditions, the abscess or the pus formation, such all conditions at the particular time period only we should do the surgical intervention. If we are not doing at the proper time, then it will lead to the more complications. So avastha or the stage of the disease is very important to assess. And similarly in different somatic diseases also, at particular time period we have to give particular medicines. For example, Jwara is a disease condition in which there has been mentioning of different kinds of medications. So first we should go for the Lankhana line of treatment. After we should go for different therapies like Kashaya can be given, Taila can be given, Ghrida can be given, Kshira can be given, Vamana can be done. Such different methods can be measured or treatment methodologies has been mentioned. But based on the condition, we should go for such all methods. So we should understand or we should know what condition that particular stage or that particular disease is, and based on that stage we should go for the management. So these are the things or the factors which a physician should understand or analyze before giving the treatment or before going for the management. Sukshma Sukshmaha Samiksha Esham Dosha Aushatha Nirupani. The physician should watch or should examine all these factors, and after that he should understand which dosha has gone aggravated or which dosha dushti had happened, and based on that the physician should go for the appropriate treatment, and such a physician won't commit any mistakes, or the management will be proper. So first, these all factors should be examined by the physician, and later only we should understand or we should determine the dosha dushti, and based on that we should go for the management. Yo vartate chikilsayam na saskhalati jatujit, and such a doctor won't be committing mistakes in the treatment, or the treatment will be proper. There won't be any mistakes in the treatment, and there won't be any complications in the treatment also. So by understanding all these factors, if we are going for the treatment, then the treatment will be good, or the better result of that management will be obtained. Otherwise the various complications can be seen in the patient. Today we have discussed a portion of Doshabhedeeyaadhyaya, and will be continuing the same chapter in the upcoming videos. For more updates on Samhita, make sure you subscribe the channel. Thank you. See you in the next video. Till then, bye.